Alqubit, IT as an expression of art.
Hello world, welcome back. Today another super exciting solution about how to optimize what does it mean to be an engineer and to extract the maximum value and result of the systems, being it IT system or broadcast system. In this case, having 38 years inside the technology as a system integration, electronics background with 2 diplomas, starting in nuclear power plant, being with my personal business of Alqubit IT as an expression of art, I am showing off how I am integrating the systems to obtain top-level broadcast performance and to extract the maximum value and quality from what I have. Being an engineer is not the bullshit of the vendor's architecture and vendor's proposals to buy always the same last version of everything, the top of the top, spend more and you are cool. No, here I am integrating actual systems, obtaining end-to-end coherent performance, integrated system that is providing at the maximum performance that is capable, the maximum result. I'm having, let me switch here, very rudimentally sketch. I'm having here, let me set something here that is beautiful. I'm having here Atem Mini Pro in this case. That the output of Atem Mini HDMI is going into my field monitor HDMI input. This monitor has the property to have pass-through output. I'm going here. I'm looking, fine-tuning everything of my live production before aperture, focus, everything, and I am observing what is happening. What is the peculiarity? That after I have not been anymore in possession of my Atem Mini Extreme, I had to integrate, fortunately, again, my beautiful OBS, because I don't have the super source. And my engineering background given me the possibility to create very high quality super source emulation. So I am obligated to use OBS. And having initiated to use OBS, I have reached the point of perfection, H.265 at the maximum level. So let me explain how it's the workflow. Atem Mini output HDMI going into HDMI input of the field monitor, the output HDMI of the field monitor, it is acting as a repeater basically to give me good signal. Why I am obligated to use my field monitor at this point? Because with Atem Mini Pro I need to extract high quality audio, and I am extracting it here, and it is ending in my deck techniques, Wi-Fi deck techniques. From here is going inside Intensity Pro, Blackmagic Intensity Pro 4K, into the input. The input of Intensity Pro and the output is set as a pass-through. Intensity Pro has the peculiarity that you can use it independently. You can use it inside DaVinci Resolve as a capture card basically, or as a video IO device output monitor to see your reference monitor eventually, and it is independent. I can use the output of Intensity Pro as a reference monitor from DaVinci Resolve, and at the same time, in real time parallelly, I can use the input of Intensity Pro as a input capture device inside OBS. It is very flexible, it is absolutely awesome device, very high quality. Not as a level of decking for the purpose of the color spaces available and the velocity with which it operates. If you need to calibrate reference monitor, it works with Intensity Pro, but it is not as good as a Decklink Mini Monitor 4K, guaranteed. One is taking 3 hours, the other is taking 1, and the results are very different because it is HDMI 1.4a and this is HDMI 2 with all the benefits and so on. Returning to the workflow, Intensity Pro is entirely into possession of my beautiful DaVinci Resolve, and this is the big biggie that I have used it for everything DaVinci Resolve, that I love it. I have used it as a rudimentary, it is not so rudimentary, a reply show off, showcase. I'm using it, I hate to do post-production, and I'm doing everything possible to produce a perfect version of my live production. In order to, I don't have to touch, the audio is perfect, the video is perfect, the color space is perfect, the video level is perfect, everything is perfect. I basically never do post-production, except in the times that my desire to do something doesn't return. But it is very time consuming. I have worked for a couple of years on finding the solution, refining the solution in order to don't have to touch anything. And I'm actually don't have any problem with absolute zero post-production. Optimized the Atem audio, optimized the Fairlight Live audio, optimized the video levels, optimized Cine. I have returned today with my spherical Cine lenses of Nightworker. They are basically perfect for my scope. and I have fine-tuned they are absolutely the same color profile, everything. I have optimized it again after dismounting my anamorphic lenses, and it works basically absolutely gratefully without any issue. Returning to DaVinci Resolve, I have used it primarily before the optimizing VLC. I have used it for, I've had 3 HyperDecks. The version normal HD, the version plus, and I wanted to buy the shuttle version 1, Gen 1, to do and I have done the showcase of the reply. In this reply that I was recording via network over the hard disk of the Extreme, it broke. It overheated and it broke totally. I had to return it. And with this imitation, I had to invent a substitute with high quality as a HyperDeck-like solution, and I have found it with I/O device. I'm having 3 I/O devices, one with 2 input/output, and I have ordered yesterday another one. I will have 4 Blackmagic I/O devices in order to do sequential elaboration and obtaining the best of the best. So I have used it for a real-time anamorphic desqueeze, and it works excellently. But with OBS that I have done the last week, it is much more easier and so on. I have used it as a player for a lot of time, basically for 6 months, to reply my live production. After that, as a reply via Restream, because I want to do as I am doing now in real time. My live production is in H.265 10 bits via YouTube, and I'm recording here, but I don't have what I'm recording is basically only this frame that is in the middle, but not the end result with unfortunately, it's not feasible with the end result with my super source emulation. And it is not feasible to include the output signal of OBS because the Blackmagic OBS plugin, I don't know if it's done on purpose, it is not readable by DaVinci Resolve. It is not readable inside. It is actually readable, but very, very bad without time code, and it is shifting the output signal through decklink or Intensity Pro from the OBS. It is totally unusable except to see as a monitor what is going on, but it is not usable absolutely totally from standpoint of view of the time frames, of the color accuracy and the color space. It is absolutely bullshit as a functionality what is going on into output. It is only for monitoring. It's not possible to use it as an output, as a serialization for further recording and everything. It is unusable. So now, returning a little bit, I will go back and forward. Returning to this. So Atem Mini output the signal. Field monitor output the audio. This one. That is a speaker of what you are hearing. Output this cable is 8K HDMI 15 meters. Never have any issues. Now I'm against today all the bullies of Atem Mini work group of the Facebook. No issues, never ever with 15 meters HDMI 8K. No issues with the caching, never. I have 0 missed frames. I have only, with all your bullshit of the 130 megabits, I have 5.4 megabits. I don't have any issue, any cache. And I don't have any caching with Atem Mini, what I will restream later on to restream with the same bandwidth. Never, ever. It is based on fine-tuning accuracy and knowledge. It is not based on the bullshit I have. I've had a production company. I know who you are. Bully. Your value is 0. Absolute 0. Keep buying whatever you want. I'm doing my stuff and I am doing a perfect job. What is returning as a little deviation? Network slices about Atem Mini. There are 6 slices and they are mandatory and they are not improvisations and they are not let's set at the maximum because I want to do it and the system is expecting to work. It is not working that way. You are getting your maximum top super stable value of throughput that your networking can offer, and you're going a little bit down. This is your ceiling, and based on your frame per second on the left side, is 25 and 30 frames per second. On the right side is 50 and 60 frames per second. Once you have validated the absolute top maximum, not of what is showing you speed test, but what is offering as a stability, constant throughput, as a maximum of your network without going into saturation, without going into any issues. This is your maximum ceiling, and you are going down by half, by 500 kilobits. So my top of the top on 25 frames per second is when my networking is working well, is 5.5. So I cannot go into the streaming high that is 6. It will go into saturation, congestion, and it will building up the caching. You cannot choose this. It is not what you desire to do. It is system specs inside with system design and integration. So the only thing that I can choose in my case is streaming medium. And this is what you need to choose. And you will never have any issue with the caching on Atem Mini. Atem Mini has not any issue with the caching. It is system design, system integration, system configuration. It is configuration issue, not functionality issue. The other thing I have stated in many live productions, this is my next with the registration. I will do my next live production. Let me open the absolute must of two values that you need to have exposed are. Let me open. I am not streaming now with Atem Mini. It will not be available. And the first one, VLC. You have to extract those two values. Atem_1 is the first Atem Mini that I have. Stream cache used, and the other is stream bitrate. Stream cache used should never be higher than 5. Should never be higher than 5. Never ever in your life. It needs to be always at the during the live stream at its worst with the maximum dynamic extension of the feed of the frames. It should be always between 3 and 5, never more. If it is building up higher, you need to down the quality. You need to go down. And the quality, I don't have now, I haven't started even the recording, who cares. It is, I have set it on HyperDeck high, but I haven't started it because I'm doing two super high quality recordings. I'm streaming medium because my maximum is 5. So you need to stay down. Not that OBS is working at the same way, but OBS doesn't preserve the live stream. This is much more reliable because it preserves the stream. If you reach to saturation, it goes down. It builds up the caching and your stream is failing, but this is not failing of the design, or it is preserving the content of the stream. You need to fine tune and adjust before, not during the live stream, not going against live stream by OZ or whatever bullshit is. It is absolutely BS device. Atem is working as it needs to be working, and it preserves the stream. It doesn't throw away stream. It's building up, it's pushing it in the cache, thinking at the professional level that you have calibrated before all your aspects of the production, and you will never go further of your available network. And those 6 slices are between, you have to stay. You cannot set 45 the higher and expect that if you have lower network it will adjust. It adjusts only within the slice. Every slice is like ISO in the camera. Different level of ISO performing different level of noise or not noise, or adjusting the aperture, the lighting. This is absolutely the same. Inside OBS is working absolutely the same way, but as soon as OBS is finding any issue with the stream, it begins to, you see, I don't have any issue with my stream, with my speed, with doing my recording, with doing everything, and doing the monitoring that is consuming basically, if I stop it here, my actual consuming of the render frame is 5.8. In 1080p, it is consuming 3 milliseconds, basically. But it needs to stay inside the dynamic multiparametric dynamic system. And what is the settings of the... It is totally the same, absolutely the same. Variable bitrate. I have set the bitrate starting from 4850, even higher than the Atem. But the top maximum bitrate is 5150 kilobits. And it is going and testing constantly and pushing a little bit even further. So you need to stay very aware of that. And you cannot reach the point of saturation. If OBS is starting to throw away frames and skipped frames due to memory encoding lag and rendering lag, it is the beginning of the nightmare. It doesn't work anymore. It is going top down, top down, top down, constantly in saturation, congestion, and it doesn't go at any way and anywhere is going. So it needs to be fine-tuned. The only difference, when it reaches the saturation that is BS, it looks as working because if it reaches the saturation and congestion, it throws your stream 30% or more and to restart and throw away. It is absolutely the same but worse. And another thing that is built inside Atem, and here is only as a beta functionality, dynamically change bitrate and manage congestion. It is not rocket science, it is not more evolved than Atem Mini. Stop with your bullshits. This is what is the system and why my system is constantly high performant and absolutely not missing one frame. Not under Atem Mini, not under OBS, with 5.1 megabits per second, because I know what I am doing and I'm system integrating systems with their peculiarities, limitations, available bandwidth, GPU that I'm having, and everything consistently. I have extracted the second GPU because it works again with Quadro P4000. Shame on you. It works perfectly. You have to have performance, not BS consumer level SSD and NVMe, because they have a cache of a couple of gigs. Once this cache is full, it's starting the constant, what is called, that it begins to throw away the things. It is slowing the performance. It is nightmare. I have a Samsung Super Enterprise High Performance 7 gigabytes per second. It is very high performance. I can rewrite a couple of terabytes every day and it still be alive if I'm doing it for 5 years, day after day. It is very high performance, very durable. And this is another. You do your pile of everything working consistently. This is system design. This is system integration. Stop your bullshit that you buy SDI and you're professional. You're not professional. You are buyer. You are consumer. And this is the system design. And what I was explaining, that having this flow, here is the most important part. In this moment, my beautiful DaVinci Resolve Studio version 21.04 is capturing here. It is captured here, and it doesn't charge the system in any way. It is constant, high performance, no lags, nothing. And this is recording. Let me show you how it's done. I'm writing constantly real time at about from OBS. Now it is very static content. It is lowering very low the speed of the writing, but it is actually at the same level almost of what I'm recording in H.265 here when they are at maximum. And let me explain. The first solution that I have found to have very extremely high quality with my basic availability and situation to obtain broadcast extremely high level quality. First solution. I'm recording in ProRes high quality 422 10-bit recording at 182 megabits per second, and it is in 1080p. It is producing 1 gig 365 megabyte per minute, and it is producing basically almost 82 gigs per hour. This is only for this part of DaVinci Resolve is producing ProRes 422 high quality 90 gigs at 25 frames per second, 90 gigs per hour. In parallel, that I'm always doing very high quality 4K, because I am upscaling in H.265 at the level of what is producing. Basically, if you export from DaVinci Resolve as a H.265 master and push it everything to the max quality profile to 1, you obtain this throughput, this massive file, relatively massive. And even if you push it at 422 in DaVinci Resolve, I can push it in OBS, inside OBS without the NVIDIA last model, I cannot push. Ultra high definition, basically 4K, as called. It produces 1 gig and 7, 1.7 gigabyte of file per minute, and 100 gigs per hour, around, more or less. And this is with maximum quality. It is basically over exaggeration to ask for more. Yes, you can push it even the high level, but why should you? I have another solution that I don't want to consume now 1 terabyte per hour or a half terabyte per hour. Is instead of using DaVinci Resolve, I'm using this one. I cannot open it because it can steal my Intensity Pro, break the flow. Blackmagic Media Express. It is the app from Blackmagic with which you can record uncompressed YUV 10 bits 422 directly without any issue, without overload on the system, because it is writing directly on the buffer of the Blackmagic Video IO device. In this case, is Intensity Pro. It can be the other one, the Decklink Mini Recorder HD that I have, or it can be Intensity Pro 4K. I can record even in 4K, but it produces 4 terabytes for a couple of hours, even for 1 hour. I have never tested it, but it is a lot. And what I'm saying, those two solutions are absolutely top of the broadcast quality. Uncompressed YUV. This is, I have edited inside DaVinci Resolve a file from 1 terabyte 0.8, and it was like a butter. It doesn't do anything. It is just smoothly do what needs to do. And when I recording the minimum quality constant writing is 1 gig 108 megabits per second, and it is producing 8 gigs per minute, 8.5 basically per minute, and half terabyte per hour. And you need after that to set it inside DaVinci Resolve, exporting into H.265 and doing other things. Now I'm not doing anything of this. I'm recording basically in H.265 420 10 bits, and I will produce something like 50 gigs, and I will play it inside VLC through Atem Mini again as an input one, and I will live stream it again as a reply on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter X, that I have returned it as a premium. And this is what I have done, and it works. It works very, very well. Everything is going on. I'm doing 2 recordings top quality in this moment. I'm having only 90% of the NVIDIA Quadro P4000 and everything is going on. I'm having capture of the DaVinci Resolve and everything is going on, and you can see it is going on 40 minutes and it is recording. And inside OBS you can see recording and it is going on again, and everything dynamically inside is totally sustainable. And definitely if you have enough space, because every aspect works with enough headroom dynamically to cover little shifts of the system, regular intrinsics, breathing of networking, of the writing on the hard disk, and dynamically, and it works. It is not Atem is known to the cache. You are known that you don't understand the system. It is not plug and play. Atem requires a holistic system around the specific configuration. It is false perception that it is consumer level plug and play. It requires ecosystem. You cannot use it without actually to implement BitFocus, to implement your super consistent and coherent levels of the audio in order to not have any distortion. And this is another science that I have published at least 10 live production of how to optimize it to have -14 loss without any distortions. Never. If you like it or not, it is working in that way. And I have shown off absolutely how you can use DaVinci Resolve creatively. It is a world behind it. I love, absolutely love DaVinci Resolve because it is an ecosystem inside. It is a world that can offer you live, how it's called, DaVinci Live, to color grade in live, but you need system with performance, de-squeezing, and but in this context it's absolutely super performant, and it is a must that you should have Blackmagic IO device capture card that is able to do pass-through output, because what I am ingesting as an input, it is copied directly in the buffer as an output. It is not that, because in this context, the DaVinci Resolve doesn't produce output display in this state. And it is done only thanks to the pass-through that I'm able to do this. And this is how it's done. And if I open here, I will show you in real time. This is the directory of what it's doing. It is already to the point. It is constantly closing as every aspect of DaVinci and HyperDeck and Atem Mini. It is constantly closing, it is constantly growing. And it is at 60 gig basically for the first hour almost what I have done. 45 minutes. And it will be exactly what I have stated here. That is producing 80 gig per hour, 81 gig, 82 gig per hour. It's mathematics here. It is constant, consistent function. The other that I'm writing is here. The other file that I'm writing now in real time. It has reached 19 gigs. It cannot give me the... This is not constantly closed. It's not accessible during the writing. You cannot read. And in case if I close this, for example, but I don't want to throw away, it will have, in case I want to continue with Media Express, I basically what I should do, stopping the recording, closing. This is in this case DaVinci Resolve is fundamental that it stays open and functional. That's why everything needs to be validated, tested, and dimensioned in a way that at worst moment it works and performs. If I close this, the signal is interrupted because it is exactly here the signal path. Here. If I close, for example, DaVinci Resolve, now it is opening what I wanted to see before. It is 58 megabits per second and everything because what is producing is it is constant quality profile and there is no much going on into the frame. And it is what is, and I have lowered the quality in order to not generate too big files. In case I am closing it, the signal will interrupt. Time to reopen the Media Express. It will restart immediately, but via Media Express. Selecting the capture tab, and I can start the recording there. And this is how it works. I hope it is useful. It's been few days of testing, thinking, elaborating. I bought another video I/O device in order to do other tests, and the need eventually to have 2 capture cards for my 2 cameras and 1 for the ingesting of the in OBS or whatever it is. And this is it. What other? I have explained and re-explained this. I have explained this, and this is all. Thank you very much. We see soon again with the next exciting live production about something else. And I will not comment anymore about the mini group persons that there from time to time then act with aggression. Let's go over this. And this is all. Thank you very much. We will see to the next time. Thanks, bye.